My name is Mike. I'm with Removery. I'm here with Arnold. Tell me who you are, where you came from, what you do.
I am 33, Latino, gay. That's the gist of it. I moved to Austin, Texas from Chattanooga, Tennessee, where I was for 8 years.
What was it like kind of growing up and finding your own place and figuring out what life was going to be for you?
Being the only Latino in a very predominantly white community was really interesting, to say the least. It was definitely hard finding a community because of that. And then as I got older, I finally kind of started getting into a Latino community. And then that was hard to tap into because it was like, oh, here's a Latino that was born and raised in the States. And that was also a community I couldn't get into. So I finally, for me personally, found a community when I started doing group fitness.
So South Carolina to Austin. Why Austin?
I was in Chattanooga for 8 years, and I feel like I just kind of got to the point where I did everything I needed to do in Chattanooga.
What was in Chattanooga? What were you doing?
But I actually moved to Chattanooga to work retail. I was with the same retail company for 6 years. And then after those 6 years, I just decided, you know what? I don't want to work for anybody anymore. So I started doing my own company, which was social media. And I was doing social media and fitness. And then I kind of just got to the point where for like the last 2 years that I was in Chattanooga, I was like, I'm doing the same thing every year because there wasn't anywhere to grow when it came to fitness or social media. And I was just like, okay, I feel like I've tapped out. The confidence was not there to begin with, I'll tell you that. It was definitely one of those nerve-wracking things where I had the camera, I was nervous, I was refilming every take, every instance, and it just got to the point where I was just like, you know what? I don't care if I mess up. I'm just gonna post it because I'm human and it's natural to not be perfect.
How do you become comfortable sharing what you look like and what you're changing and turning into in the fitness space on camera for anybody to follow?
I think for me, it was because I didn't see anybody that looked like me coaching fitness. And so especially when you're online, a lot of the people that are coaching fitness are, rock hard abs, super fit. Here's what I'm eating a day. Here's the, my body fat percentage, all this kind of stuff. And I was like, you know what? I'm just your average guy. Like, I'm healthy, I'm fit, probably never gonna have a six pack, and that's okay. And so I just wanted to showcase that a little bit more and just kind of show people that this is obtainable and that you can still be in this fitness space without being the perfect body.
You also mentioned fashion, that people were interested in both your workout gear and what you were putting together. Where does that come from? What inspired you to go out there and find clothes that weren't just available at any old store?
I really think it comes from my childhood because I have a ton of pictures when I was a baby from 4 months old to kindergarten where I was a trendy little baby. Thanks to my mom. I was very, very trendy. There's a picture of me when I was 4 months old and I had a full-blown three-piece suit on with a beret and everything. My mama had me styled. And so I think just going as I got older, I was just I don't want to wear what everyone else is wearing. And my fashion, I think outgrew where I lived. It was very much bland, basic fashion. And I was just I think because I already stood out as the only Latino, I was well, I might as well make my fashion stand out.
So from stylish baby to Chattanooga social media fitness influencer superstar, kind of ran out of space in Chattanooga.
Yeah.
Why Austin?
To be completely honest with you, there is no rhyme or reason to it. I thankfully have only ever had to reach out to a handful of brands myself. Most of the brands that I work with, they reach out to me or it's just a very organic conversation, relationship, and then it turns into, hey, I can help you, you can help me kind of scenario.
You're on both sides of the spectrum here, meaning you're creating content for yourself as a way to generate income and work with brands.
I think it's a benefit because I'm able to let brands know hey, this is what works on a consumer side of it, but this is also what works as a creator as well.
Let's talk about personal style here. You mentioned you're losing a little bit of hair on top of your head. I think, I'm understanding of what that feels like as well. Some of the things that are more pronounced though is you choose jewelry based on where you're working and who you're working with. And then you've got tattoos. So talk to me about tattoos. When did this start?
I think it started because my parents were very much on the side of do not ever get a tattoo. And so I think it was just more of a rebellious thing. My first ever tattoo, you cannot see it because it is a black light tattoo on my wrist. And apparently I found out afterwards that it was not FDA approved yet, the black light ink, but it's a tattoo on my wrist. And then from there, I promised my parents it was just gonna be that one. I was never gonna get any more. And now I think I'm at 26 at this point. And it just kind of started becoming a thing where I was you know what? I just want little things on my body that make me happy or remind me of things to continue to make me happy.
How old were you?
18.
When did the next tattoo happen?
19.
What was it? What's the story behind it?
It's the one on my back that I'm getting removed.
What's the story behind it?
So the one on my back is a cross and it says eat, sleep, pray in Italian. And I'm just not that religious anymore, and I also don't speak Italian, so I don't even know why I got it to begin with in Italian.
What was the thought process behind getting it?
It was New Year's Day. Me and my friends had driven about an hour and a half to go party in Columbia, South Carolina, and we were driving back, and I remember just being like, I'm gonna start the new year off with a new tattoo. And we drove straight to the tattoo parlor. Most of my tattoos I've never walked in knowing that I wanted, except for like maybe 2. Most of them I just walked in and said, I want a tattoo, and they're like, what do you want? And I'm like, give me 5 minutes, I'll figure it out. So it was one of those that I kind of just like picked. He put a Disney movie on for me while I was getting tattooed.
What's your favorite tattoo?
My favorite tattoo currently is probably this one that I got in Chattanooga, and it's just basically giving myself a hug in the shape of like a heart, and it's just like a little warm reminder to myself that I love myself, like where I came from and who I am.
Something your mom told you, which was always make sure you're presentable, always make sure you're in the best version of yourself.
Yes.
Do you remember when we met?
Yes. We met South by last year. My friend Tristan was in town visiting, not realizing it was South by, and he actually found y'all's event that y'all had last year with Liquid Death at your location here on South Congress, and he was like, they're doing free tattoos and free tattoo removals. He's like, I want a free tattoo. And I was like, you know what? Let's go. And so I popped in here and I was like, you're doing free tattoo removal sessions. I want to try it. I want to do it. So we did one on my bicep, and I met like the whole team that day. And then that was a Friday. And then we came back on Saturday because he couldn't get a tattoo on Friday. But then there was an issue with that tattoo artist on Saturday, so then we still couldn't get one, but we still hung out, stayed, chatted with everybody. And then him and I went out that night downtown to 4th Street to a drag show with some friends. And then the entire Removery team walks in, and everybody's like, oh my God, Arnold, we met you today. And it was just like a whole big party.
What kind of made you interested in tattoo removal? Did you know about it?
I had heard about it briefly, but I was not knowledgeable enough to be like, I'm walking in and I know exactly what I'm doing.
Why the tattoo, and why would you get it removed?
So I got this tattoo shortly after the one on my back, and it says, I don't know if you can read it, but it says, each day is a new life, seize it, live it. I just don't like seeing anything on my bicep anymore. And personally, I never liked the font of it to begin with. I don't really like what it says anymore. And so when the opportunity came up to try to like remove it, I'm gonna be so honest with you though, in my head, I thought this was gonna be removed after like that one session. I was like, oh my God, free removal session. Yes, let's get rid of it.
Did you ever find people kind of moving their head around to read it while you were in line at the grocery store, or physically moving your arm or asking what it meant?
Yes and no. For some reason, I think it's because it's on the inside of my bicep, and I wear like sleeveless shirts to coach in. But then I do have a lot of people that are like, what does that say? And as soon as they ask me that, I like roll my eyes. I'm like, it says each day's a new life, seize it, live it, but you can't really read it because the script is weird and the E looks weird. So yes, this is what it says.
Okay, so that's a great reason to remove a tattoo. So one treatment, it's definitely not removed.
Nope.
When you're going through the kind of education phase with Removery, what were some of the things that you were shocked by that you learned with tattoo removal, or you found really interesting?
I did not know that you do have to wait about 6 to 8 weeks in between sessions. I thought it was just like, come in every week, we zap it off, you're done in like 6 weeks and you're like good to go forever. Another thing was I knew like getting a tattoo, you should be very sensitive to the sun, but did not realize that with tattoo removals, you should be very, very, very cautious of the sun for at least 2 weeks. And I guess I just didn't realize, not that it's a bad thing, but like the length of time that it would take to remove it.
We're a year into your removal at this point. Are you happy with the progress?
I am. I can tell it's going to be like fully removed and fully healed probably by the end of this year. And now, having done it for so long, I'm very appreciative of the 6 to 8 weeks waiting period.
Let's talk about that. On a scale of 1 to 10, before you started, where did you think this was going to fall?
I thought it was going to fall in like a 7-8.
And what was it in reality?
For the 60 seconds that it lasts, it is at about 9.5 or 10, but it is so quick that it like you don't even realize it once it's over.
5 minutes after this is done, what's it feel like?
Honestly, I forgot it even happened, to be honest with you. Like I could see it, and there's obviously like redness because you're causing some sort of trauma to the skin, but other than that, it felt fine.
I want to talk about the myths, but first and foremost, what's mom say?
She laughs because as I've gotten these 2 removed in the process, I've gotten 2 or 3 more done. So in her head, she's like, oh, so you're just removing 2 to add 2, so that way in your head it just evens out. And I'm like, girl math, yes, I'm glad you understand.
As you're posting this to social media, and obviously you have some friends, I'm sure this has been a dinner conversation. What are they saying?
They have a lot of questions, and so they're asking, like, Because here's the thing, I think there's a stigma around when creators post things, that creators are always posting the beauty and like the good, never the bad. So most of my friends, when they ask me questions, especially like at dinner or just like hanging out, they're like, all right, like tell me honestly, not like for Instagram, but tell me honestly, what is it like? And I'm like, I'm being so honest on my Instagram. Like everything I'm sharing is true. Like, does the pain level suck? Yes, but it's only like 60 seconds. And it's, I'm always very upfront and honest with people. Most of their questions were very much just like the pain level, how long does it take, and kind of like the aftercare about it.
Are you finding that the healing's different, better, or worse than getting a tattoo?
I honestly think that the healing process of and the aftercare process of a tattoo removal is easier than the process of getting a tattoo.
Over the last year, we've started removing 2 of your tattoos, and you've added 3 more. Knowing that tattoo removal is available, is this impacting your choices in tattoos in the future?
Yes.
Tell me more about it. Expand on that.
I think I already kind of stopped caring about what tattoos I got. I was just getting stuff just because it was fun. Now knowing that it's not fully permanent and I can remove it, it's more of just like, if I don't like it, I'll just go remove it.
Your first tattoo was a sign of rebellion. The second one was, I'm going to just get a tattoo because I'm 19. What were you hoping to gain? Like in a word or two, what were you hoping to gain by getting tattooed?
I think, as sad as it sounds now looking back and thinking about it, I think it was cool points in my head.
Do you feel that there's way too much stigma around putting thought and process into getting tattoos, and that it's maybe a little overthought?
I think nowadays, no. I think when I first started getting tattoos, the question that always came up was always like, what's the reasoning? What's the meaning behind it? What's the meaning behind it? And I feel like now, any tattoos that I have where if people see my tattoos for the first time, it's not what's the meaning behind it. It's, oh my gosh, I love it. Like, where'd you get it done? Who did it? So I think it definitely has transitioned to where now it's just like, if you love it, we're not going to question or ask why it's there. We more so are just interested in like, who's the artist? It looks really good.
What were you hoping to gain by tattoo removal in a few words?
A little bit more confidence with my body, and just, I guess that's it really. I just wanted confidence in knowing that like I enjoyed looking at my bicep and there wasn't something there that I actually never liked since the day one. And knowing that I could remove something on my back that I'm just like, I never see it to begin with, so why even have it there?
We talk a lot about the time it takes to remove a tattoo in ways that people can understand, such as if you shaved off your mustache today, you would not have one tomorrow. These things take time. Same with a fitness journey. You don't wake up tomorrow and become yoked or be able to run a marathon. You have to gradually build up to that. Are you finding that there's alignment between your fitness journey and tattoo removal?
I'd say so, yeah. It's a patience for sure. Like, you know, when, especially in the fitness journey, because I feel like I'm on we're constantly on a fitness journey, really, like a wellness journey. And I feel like I'm on a different one right now, trying to get to a point where I was at last year. And so I think there's just a patience level of like, hey, this is a day by day. You have to stick to it. And especially with like fitness, you have to stick to the, you know, the meals, the exercise, the good sleep, all that. But then when it comes to tattoo removal, it's also like you really do have to do the aftercare. You have to protect it. You have to go every 6 weeks. You do have to do the maintenance level to keep it up.
I love that we're able to kind of help your authentic self by removing the tattoos that don't fit your personality anymore. And with that, who are you? Where are you from? And how can people find you?
I'm Arnold. I live in Austin, Texas. I coach currently at True Fusion in South Lamar, about to start coaching at Method Pilates as well. And you can find me online on Instagram at Arnold Ruelas, also on TikTok as well. Not really big on Facebook, probably should do it, and my website is being redone and will be relaunched here soon.